Well, my friends, welcome to a week in which at least half the country is going to be in a really bad mood. This is what happens when presidential elections take place, at least in our country. Half the country is in favor of one person, half the country is in favor of another person. One person wins and the other person loses, and a lot of people feel very, very unhappy and grumpy, and this affects your neighbors and your friends and your coworkers and people you run into at the grocery store. And it happens as we're just getting into winter, where in a lot of places things are getting colder and you can't go outside as easily as you did before. And of course there's COVID going on and everything related to that, and people disagreeing on this or that and not being unhappy with so many different things there. And well, good luck getting through this week without losing your mind. No, we don't need luck. God gives us some really good guidance on how to get through weeks even like this without losing our minds. And one of the places he does that is in Numbers chapter 12. Where we see that this isn't the first time in history that somebody was unhappy with the person who was in charge. Miriam and Aaron were very unhappy with the person who was in charge. They were unhappy with Moses. They had some beef about Moses' wife, and they thought that Moses was getting a little bit more attention and credit than he should be getting compared to how much attention and credit they thought they should be receiving for leading them. So they were a little bit jealous of Moses. And so they came to Moses and expressed their jealousy, and Moses took the situation to God. And do you know how God fixed it? By making these two very unhappy people unhappier. He spoke to them and he said, I know who's in charge. I speak to Moses face to face every day. I am well aware of the situation. I know exactly what's going on. And then he showed them just how easily he could make a change if he wanted to, because in the next moment he afflicted Miriam with leprosy, a very deadly skin disease. And then this woman who had felt already very unhappy felt even unhappier, because now she was unhappy with herself, because she realized she had crossed a line. She let her jealousy get the best of her. She let her emotions lead her to a place that she knew she should not have gone. And so she was unhappy with herself. And that's just one of many things that can make us unhappy this week or any other week. It's not just politics. It's our expectations of where we feel we match up with other people, how much credit or attention they receive as opposed to how much credit or attention I receive. It's easy for us to get jealous of other people, their success, their stuff, their health, their confidence. And then, of course, politics has a way of not bringing out the best in us, of bringing out the parts of us that are least loving, least patient, least kind, and even least trusting in the God who is well aware of everything that's going on. And so how did God fix that for Miriam? What's the remedy when you are unhappy with yourself? Well, it's what Aaron did. He saw what happened to Miriam, and he begged God to have mercy on her. He said, please don't hold this sin against us. We know we overstepped. We know we did wrong. And then Moses, the guy they had attacked, he did the same thing. He asked God to have mercy on them and to heal Miriam, and eventually he did. Eventually he did. And what God did for Miriam and for Aaron, he also promises to do for us. God is well aware of everything that's going on in our lives. He is well aware of who it is that's in charge of any office. He already knows who's going to win the election. And whatever the details of all those things are, we absolutely know that God will always treat us with mercy. It's what Jesus assured us of when he went to a cross, and people didn't much like the fact that he was leading them. And he willingly gave up his life so that we could walk through every day, even days like today, weeks like this week, knowing that God will always have you on his heart and on his mind when he chooses how to respond to absolutely everything. And he will always respond with his greatest love and forgiveness and grace and mercy. So rest well tonight, my friends. Your God is one who will always have mercy on us.